are making corn casserole. Now, my mother and grandmother didn't make this growing up. I had this when I would go to church picnics or potlucks or, the holiday dinners that they would do. And I hadn't thought about this recipe in years, even though I loved it growing up, until I started pulling together all my Thanksgiving and Christmas recipes to get ready to put them out in a book. And I thought, I want this old-fashioned corn casserole. Now, I normally don't cook this way, but I give you permission to have some heritage recipes that you like to pull out, especially for holidays. So, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of the sweet potatoes that are covered with marshmallows. You're allowed to do that if your granny did it that way, right? So my granny didn't do it, but all the grannies in my church did it this way. So this is how we're going to do a super quick, super fast, inexpensive corn casserole. Perfect for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever. All right, so we start with 2 cups of fresh corn. And if you're not used to dealing with fresh corn, I have a video on it. I have a video showing you how to cut corn off the cob. Very, very easy. That's what you start with. Then creamed corn. And I think this is the first time I have purchased creamed corn in 20 years. Normally, we just don't use it. We do fresh, or on occasion, I'll do some canned corn. But for this recipe, when I was trying to pull it together, it really is necessary. All right, here's the other thing I never buy. This is muffin mix. And I'm not going to give you the brand, but it comes in a blue box, and you know what I'm talking about. All right, right in here, just with everything else. I love this recipe because of how super easy it is. All right, so we're going to stir this up. I think this is probably one of those recipes that came either, now I don't know for this for sure, I'm not a food historian, but I think this, judging by the ingredients and how it's put together, I think this is one of those recipes that came either out of the Great Depression or possibly the 40s. It's got a few packaged ingredients. It's really inexpensive. You've got the muffin mix that gives you a jump start. And it's really basic, but it's got some wonderful savory flavors. All right, the only thing I'm going to do at this point, and this is up to you. Traditionally, where I'm from, probably would have put a couple teaspoons of sugar in here just to sweeten it up. However, I love corn and black pepper. I think it's a great combination. I'm going to give it about a teaspoon of salt and mix it up. All right, I have a 9x13 casserole dish, and oh, you know what? I forgot an ingredient. Bladen, you focus right there on that. I almost screwed this one up. I have melted butter. And I about forgot to get it.
The best part.
Well, it does give it just a little bit of richness that it really, really needs. So this is half a stick of butter. And our microwave died a couple days ago, so I melted it in the oven, and it's very hot. So half a stick of butter. Plus, the muffin mix needs a little bit of fat to do its job. So it's going to hold everything together, but it needs some fat to work with. Okay, so over here I've got a 9x13 casserole dish, and I buttered it. I just took the paper off of half a stick of butter. I didn't melt. Used the paper as a handle and rubbed the inside of this casserole dish with it. I think this recipe probably came about as a shortcut way to do an old-fashioned style corn pudding. And I think corn pudding is really necessary for the holidays, and I will shoot a video on that. Bladen is shaking his head no, but yes, we're going to do it because I love it. I think this is a shortcut corn pudding. However, listen, if it's your first holiday and you've never done Christmas or Thanksgiving at your house, take some shortcuts. Don't beat yourself up over having to have everything perfect. Go with some easy stuff so you'll actually have a good time. All right, Bladen, you stay right there for a second. I am grabbing way too much foil. I have a 350-degree oven. We're going to throw this in there for about 45 minutes. And we're going to come back and take the foil off. And you know, because we're in the South, it's got to have some cheese. All right, so I'll see you back here in 45 minutes. All right, so our corn casserole had 45 minutes in the oven. Okay. And it's got a few more minutes to go. But we have one final step Woo! Hot. Aha! I have to say, it smells so good. All right, so I've got about 1.5 cups of extra sharp cheddar cheese. Use whichever one you like. I like the extra pop of flavor with that sharp cheddar, and I thought it'd be really, really nice against how sweet the corn is. And remember, we went a little savory with this with salt and pepper instead of a bit of sugar. Although, if you do use a little bit of sugar, it'd still be great with the sharp cheddar. That whole sharp cheddar cheese and apple pie thing, wouldn't it? All right, so oven is still on 350. So this is going to go back in just long enough to melt the cheese nice. So about 15 minutes, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's finished. All right, you can't tell me that if you put this cheesy, yummy, bubbly thing on your table, you won't be a hero, because it smells absolutely out of this world, and I think it smelled perfect. I'm excited. Okay, so normally you would let a casserole rest or two because this is going to be like biting into lava, but you know I can't stand that. I have to show you what we have, which is absolutely beautiful. If you really wanted to, I mean, if you wanted to try to get fancy with it, you could hit it up with a little fresh parsley or a little paprika. You gotta get the crunchy bit from the edge. I think that's always the best part of the casserole. All right, hang on just a second. I've been making videos for 6 years and I can never remember to get a fork. Okay, don't forget, if I've helped you at all, give me some thumbs up down below. Give me the Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and social media love. And then go check me out on Patreon. It's brand new for me, but we're giving it a little bit of a try. So, here we go. Hot. Ooh. Fruit salad. That's so good though. That's worth burning your mouth over. So check out the website, get the recipe, and try it for yourself.